So a lot of the stories in the Abrahamic religions, the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, are actually indigenous stories. They were whitewashed. And I'm going to share the similarities between our stories and their stories in the Bible, starting from the creation all the way to the apocalypse and many other things. So in the Bible, they say that Adam was made from red clay, right? Well, we also here in America, the indigenous populations believe that we were made from clay as well. Also, there was a flood. Almost every culture has the flood, but we definitely have a flood story in almost every single tribe, even down to Noah's Ark. His ark was made out of gopher wood, and that only grows in Florida. So also in the beginning of time, they everybody was bigger, and they called these people the Nephilim, the sons of gods, mated with the daughters of man, right? So this is the land of the giants in the Americas. You find giant remains all over North and South America, and they were also redheaded cannibals that were raping our women, and that's why the DNA still lives on in us today. And that's why they study our blood, and we have ghost DNA and undetermined, unknown DNA. The ex CIA director said that Cherokee blood specifically has alien DNA. Even with the Tower of Babel, the Zapotec and the Toltec built pyramids and disobeyed the sky gods, and they corrupted everybody's tongue. These are the same stories from the Bible. We had these stories first, and somehow they ended up with them and put it all in a book. So you also have like sibling rivalry, Cain and Abel, the twins. That's in almost every culture, but left hand, right hand in our culture. That's the Iroquois creation story. You also have how they got fire and how we got fire, and like laws. Like, so Moses went up and he met God and saw a burning bush. They gave him fire and these 10 commandments. Well, we have a story of how we got fire too, and a set of laws as well that is similar to that up in the mountains. So they also say that God spoke life into creation, right? By his words. Well, out in the South Midwest, they got Hopi creation songs. So God speaking his words, and then our God singing the song, making creation. So Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden because they disobeyed the rules, and there's tribes that talk about that we left like our own paradise, right? And we had to leave because we disobeyed the rules, right? And now all the stories that are in the Bible are similar, not just to one tribe, but all of our stories together, right? And we all say we're related to one another over here. We come from the same ancestors, the same grandfathers. And the garden, the real garden, is actually on Turtle Island. So in the Bible, in the Quran and Torah, you have a lot of divine messengers, people that were angels or sent from God. We also have our own messengers that were sent by God, and even virgin births, couple virgin births, like the Ganawita. He was born of a virgin birth. Sky Woman's daughter was born of a virgin birth, the mother of the twins. So even being judged by God with fire, you got Sodom and Gomorrah lit up in flames, and when the frequencies and energies on the surface world, right, get out of tune, Mother Earth will reset herself, and this was the first world. The first world was destroyed by fire. Even down to the sacred foods. So like you had foods that were given to us as a gift from the gods, like corn. I think in the Bible they were in the desert, and they were gifted of food from the gods because they needed it. So here's another interesting one: the forbidden fruit, right? They had the apple, right? You couldn't eat the apple. I heard it was grapes before, but we'll talk about the apple, right? Forbidden fruit that gave them knowledge. They realized they were naked after they ate from that fruit. It gave them some type of knowledge, right? And The Cherokee have a story of how we only used to be, we're only allowed to eat fruits and vegetables, and that we learned from the animals that we can eat meat, and rules came with that. Also, trees of life, trees of knowledge, too. That's a huge theme that we have in our culture and in their religions. So with Egypt and the Maya, right? They both build pyramids and they align to the same stars and all that. Even their underworld animal, the Anubis or the dog, is the same, the Quetzalcoatl or whatever. Forget how to say its name, but Egypt was plunged into darkness for a certain period of time in the Bible, and that also happened to the Mayas. Another good point is you have these birds or these doves, these messengers that Noah had on his ark, and we also have messenger birds as well that would help us when we're migrating and war, all types of stuff that we use these messenger birds for. So you had the Israelites wandering in the desert for 40 years. You had tribes in the South Midwest wandering in the desert for a period of time, being led by visions, a man that was having visions. So in the Bible, you had Joseph interpreting dreams. In our culture, we have medicine men or shaman that interpret our dreams. Dreams are very important to our people. So in the Bible, Moses struck a rock and water came from that, right? And here you have the Hopi and the Incas with the same story. A man struck these sacred rocks and water springs came from them. Another huge similarity is Israel has a covenant with God, right? They're like a chosen people, they're his children. Well, we are also God's children as well. We're children of Mother Earth. We have the original instructions, right? We have a purpose. So we're chosen in our own way. And then Jesus was resurrected from the dead. We also have a story of a man being resurrected from the dead. His name was Skanyadayo Handsome Lake. He lay down for 3 days and he woke up and he preached his visions that he had from Creator. And then finally, the end times. We have many prophets on both sides that predict the end times. I believe that all the stories you hear in the Abrahamic religions were once our stories. I believe that we are the most ancient people. I believe everybody used to look like Native Americans. I believe everybody used to speak our languages too, and that's another reason why they thought we spoke Paleo-Hebrews, because all their languages over there on that side of the world stem from Latin, Greek, Paleo-Hebrew, and our language, they said the chosen people will speak a pure tongue. Thanks for watching.